Today on our 2013 Ford Escape, we're going to take a look at and show you how to install the Curt Custom Fit Class 3 Trailer Hitch Receiver. This offers the 2" by 2" opening. Its part number is C13186. Now here's what our hitch is going to look like installed on the vehicle. As you can see, we've got a nice clean look. We're not adding a lot to the rear here. Our cross tube almost completely hidden as it runs across the rear. What we're going to be left with is this triangle shaped plate. It's going to hold our receiver tube opening. As you can see, we've got a 2" by 2" receiver tube opening. Works great with Class 3 accessories. To hold any of those in place, we're going to have a 5/8 diameter pinhole. You can see that right there on the side. Now, you can see it looks like we've got plenty of room on each side here. So whether you're using a pin and clip, locking hitch pin, anti-rail devices, looks like they're all going to work pretty effectively. We've got a safety chain connection points down here. These are a rounded steel stock. Should have plenty of room there to get our safety chains connected whenever we're ready to tow. As you can see, we've got the flush reinforcement collar around the end here, and that's going to be inside the rear edge of our bumper, so that should give us no worries like of bumping our knee or something as we were to walk by on the back. Now our hitch has a 350-pound tongue weight rating. That's the maximum downward force we'll put here at our receiver tube opening, and it offers a 3,500-pound gross trailer weight rating. If we were to switch over to a weight distribution setup, our tongue weight, that's going to go up to 500 pounds. Our trailer weight rating, that's going to go up to 5,000 pounds. Of course, we do want to look into the owner's manual of the Escape. We'll see what it's listed at, and we can go off of whichever of those numbers are the lowest. Now, a couple measurements that are going to be helpful in selecting your ball mount, bike rack, or hitch cargo carrier will be from the ground to the inside top edge of the receiver tube opening. We've got about 14¼ inches. Then from the center of our hitch pinhole to the outermost edge of our bumper, it's about 4¼ inches. Now to begin our installation, we're going to lower down the exhaust here. We're going to have 4 bolts. Got an exhaust hanger here on the passenger side. You can see the 2 bolts that are going to go up into the frame here. Then we've got 2 bolts in the exact same location. On the other side, we'll remove. Use a 13mm and just bring those on out. That'll give us a little bit of room we need to work. Now just in front of our driver's side exhaust hanger, there's going to be a small nut. We remove that with a 10mm socket. We'll just set it aside. Now if we come just in front of our forward hole location here by about 1 inch, we'll mark that off right there. Then we want to come right down the edge here. We're going to be trimming out that area of our heat shield. Now we can kind of bend down on the heat shield a little bit. Let's trim out that area. Now we'll head over to the passenger side and do the same thing there. Now our passenger side, you'll notice there's not going to be the bolt location up here. So we're just going to mark it right down the inside edge of that frame rail again. We won't have to worry about any cross cuts. We'll be removing this entire area. Now we'll come back up front here and we want to re-secure our heat shield with that screw that with the nut we removed. Now it's time to enlarge our hole right here. We just want to take off the edge enough so that our bolt will pass through the hole. Now to do our enlargement, we'll use either like a high-speed rotary tool, we can use a hacksaw blade, we can use a file, whatever you need to work this edge off a little bit. Now we just want to make sure our bolt head will pass in and out of our access hole easily, and we're ready to move to the other side and do the same thing there. All right, now to get our hardware in place, we're just going to take our fish wire. We'll go through that hole that's right here on the side closest to the rear of the vehicle, and we'll guide it towards our access hole. Pull it down and through, and then we need to slide on a spacer block, and also one of our carriage bolts. We'll thread right onto the end of it. All right, we'll feed them up into our frame rail separately there. We'll pull it out of our attachment point there, and we'll just let it rest back in our frame rail. Our next one's going to be a real short pull. We're going to go in the hole here at the bottom. and we'll come out our access hole. And one of our spacer blocks and bolts. Get it fed up into position. And our last one's going to be a reverse pull, which is a little bit different. Here we're just going to slide the spacer block down on, get our carriage bolt threaded on, then our bolt will go in first, follow that with the spacer block, and our bolt comes down through. Now we'll just go over to the passenger side and do the same thing there. Now if we get an extra set of hands, we're going to get our hitch raised up into position here. We'll feed it up over our exhaust and kind of slide it into place. All right, now we can take our pull wires. We're going to feed these down through our hitch. We're going to use the hole second from the front and the fourth hole, or the hole closest to the back. And the hole on the side, that's going to go through the elongated hole here. Let's lift it up. And we'll pull our bolt through, and you'll see our hitch is going to rest right down on that. Now we want to remove our pull wires, and we're going to start one of our flange nuts. We'll go to the other side and do the same thing there. That'll hold it in place while we get the rest of our hardware started. Now while we've still got those loosely installed, we want to check and make sure that the other oblong holes here are in line with our exhaust hanger bolt hole location. And we'll also take a quick look just to be sure our hitch is centered up with our vehicle, and we can start snugging down our fasteners. Now we'll look in our instructions, find our torque specifications, get our hardware torqued down appropriately. All right, now it's time to get our exhaust put back up. Now for this, we're going to use our supplied hardware, which is going to be a 8mm bolt that we also put a flat washer on. All right, now once we've got both of these started, let's go over to the passenger side and we'll do the same thing there. All right, now we'll torque those down to the appropriate specification. Now we'll re-lubricate our forward hanger here. We're going to slide it on as well. All right, with everything torqued down and our exhaust back in place, our hitch is ready for use. That's going to complete our installation of the Curt Custom Fit Class 3 Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C13186, on our 2013 Ford Escape.